All right, welcome back to the next part of our Kubuntu 26.04 playlist. A lot of the stuff that I've talked about is kind of targeted directly at 26.04 as far as some of the features and everything with like the minimal install and that kind of stuff. A lot of the stuff I've talked about is just indicative of KDE Plasma 6. It's not necessarily Kubuntu. You can actually use any KDE Plasma 6 desktop or distribution and get these same features. That's probably going to continue also in this video as well. Before we get started on that, though, I do want to show you exactly what we are working with Kubuntu 26.04, and to do that we're just going to go ahead and open up our system information, our information center rather, and with this we are on Kubuntu 26.04. Again, this has not been released yet, and the software included is KDE Plasma 6.6.3. KDE Frameworks version is 6.24.0. The Qt version is 6.10.2. The kernel version is a whole whopping Linux 7, which is actually kind of impressive, but it is what it is. Our default graphics platform is Wayland instead of X11. And then I have the hardware on the machine we're currently using, such as it is a Deca-Core i9, 64 gigs of RAM, and I have a discrete Intel Arc graphics card. In here, you can also open the system monitor, which we've already seen. We can look at our energy consumption on our batteries, but this is a desktop. It doesn't have a battery in it. Our network interfaces, Samba. Samba is like window sharing. So you can actually configure this to do Windows style sharing, so it's discoverable on Windows in the network, in networking. Our audio devices, our block IDs, our block devices, CPU, firmware security, all of our interrupts, our memory, a PCI, all of the highly technical gobbledygook that nerds care about that most people don't. Smart status, this is a Samsung SSD 970 EVO, it's a 500 gig, and the green check mark means that the device is working as intended. I can either ignore it or I can show the details. When I show the details, it shows all of its rights and how much I've tore it up. It's an older drive, so it has a few miles on it. My sensors, which will tell me what my CPU core temperatures are, mid-20s, low 30s. Also at the same time, this GPU should be in here too, if I'm not mistaken. It's not. Okay. But it also includes the temperatures of the Samsung Evo that I have there. The highest temperature I see on here, other than that one, I'm not sure why that one's at 95 and 90. But most of these are in the low 20s. I'm sorry, upper 20s, low 30s kind of thing, which is very good temperatures, considering I am not liquid cooling this computer. It is on an air cooler, and those are actually really good temperatures for air coolers. So USB devices, OpenGL, Wayland, Vulkan, all of this stuff here is basically for graphics and rendering and things like that. So we can go ahead and skip out of here. So another thing that you can do on KDE Plasma 6 that has a parallel to Windows is in our little up arrow thingy here. It has several different things that you can do, such as notifications. It tells you don't have any notifications. You can turn on Do Not Disturb. This little button up here allows you to configure which events will actually trigger notifications. That's not what I was looking for. That's not what I was looking for. Configure for system. Okay. This isn't exactly the same place I was wanting to go either, but this is going to work. Inside the configure system notifications, you can turn these on or off. You can have it beep when it does this, have it not beep unless it does that kind of thing. And then you can configure your applications and what kind of notifications that are sent out there. So you have very fine-tuned control over your notifications. Windows, please pay attention, because when I turn off notifications, you better turn off notifications. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? Anywho, another thing you can do in here is you can set up a weather report. You can set up a location, and in here, let's say you live in New York. You can go and choose any of the ones in New York you want. You can choose LA, Chicago, wherever you live, some village in the middle of the forest. If it has a weather station close by, you get the weather from there. Your update time on it. Another thing you can do is a shortcut to your screen layout. If you have, I don't have multiple screens, so I can't choose how this is laying out, and I currently have presentation mode turned off. Disks and devices, there are no thumb drives or anything plugged in. Power and battery is irrelevant on the system level. It did detect my mouse. This Logitech M720 Triathlon is a mouse, and it detects the battery status of that, and that's a wireless mouse. Another thing I was wanting to show you that would be cool if Windows had, and that is KDE Vaults is what this is called. And what a vault is it is an encrypted directory that is password protected, that allows you to put like your most sensitive data in here, like any of your banking information or anything like that you don't really want exposed, just in case you do get hacked and people do get into your computer. You have to have a password to open that up. Another legitimate reason to have vaults is to, let's say you have a partner that you share the computer with, and you are working on a surprise for them, like for your anniversary, you're going on a cruise or whatever. You can put all your itinerary and everything inside a vault, and they can't accidentally stumble across it. So it stays a surprise a lot longer. They're fairly easy to set up. You just click the new vault, type in a name, next, and then you give it a password. I'm surprised it even says that's even halfway decent, because it's literally just the word password. Way to go. All right, so we go next, and then we just leave this alone. Next, and then we can go ahead and go next. There was one other option in there. I clicked too fast. There's one other option that you can tell it to disconnect the network connection. You can go offline with your internet connection while the vault is open. That'll help protect you a little bit more too. But I got a little click happy there. There's the vaults right there. So when I open this up, this is a list of all the vaults I have. It's currently unlocked. So when you open this up in your file manager, you'll get to see all the files and everything you have in here. And it will show up in Vaults. As long as it's unlocked, you can browse to it, just like you can anything else. But if we go in here and we lock that vault, if you log out or restart your computer, it will automatically lock the vault for you. This way, when you go in here and you see the vaults, there's one in here called test, but when you click on it, it just looks like an empty directory. That's because it's locked. What will happen is when you actually go through and unlock it, let's go back to here, vaults. We're going to unlock, we have to put in that password. Okay, and I'm going to close this here, go back to home, vaults. Now, well, it's still empty because there's nothing in it. Let's create a file in here real quick. I'm going to call it text. Okay, so we'll go back to home. Let's go ahead and close this now. Actually, before I close it, let's double check. There's my text file. I'm going to lock the vault. Now when we go into it, it's completely empty. There's no files in there whatsoever. But if I unlock the vault, There's our text file there. And also in here, you double click on it and you can go back in and it is freely available, which I thought was kind of cool. Now, are there questionable reasons to use a vault? Yeah, probably, but we're not going to go into those. I'm just trying to stick to the legitimate reasons to have vaults. Let's see here. What else can we look at? One thing to keep in mind, and you might run across this on the internet, and this is true for KDE, not necessarily just Plasma 6. Every single version of KDE has been this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and of course carrying over to the 6. And that is, you can configure KDE to the nth degree. This desktop environment is a tweaker's daydream. You can literally tweak anything and everything you want in KDE. Don't let that intimidate you, though. Just because there's umpteen bajillion different toggles and buttons and switches and settings doesn't mean you have to learn them. It comes with a very sane set of defaults, and you don't have to ever touch any of them if you don't want to. Everything you see, though, is a widget. So if you right-click, you can show alternatives on how you want the widgets to show up. You can also add manager widgets. You can add Bluetooth. You can add another clock. You can move any of the stuff around you want. Binary clock. You can do whatever you want to do with any of the stuff in here you want. You can move it anywhere. You can move this taskbar to the top, the sides. You can shorten it. You can completely delete it. You can, any one of these things you can completely get rid of if you so desire. You can put a clock on the desktop. Like I said, you can rearrange this, right click, show panel configuration. Yeah, there it is. So as far as the position goes, I can set that anywhere I want. I can set it over here, and now it's over there. That's not what I meant. Close. Get out of that. Okay. Right click. Show panel configuration. I went to the wrong place there first. So I can put it anywhere I want. Click the wrong thing. Show set position to the bottom. Right? And then I can also center it. I can set it however I want. I can fit the content. I can set it to a custom size. I can set it to fit the full width like it normally is. I can change its visibility, its opacity, whether it floats or not. Panel and applets will float. So what this will do here is, you notice now that bar doesn't go all the way to the sides. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom either, just floating down there. The cool thing is if you get close to it, it stops floating. Or if you maximize the screen, it will stop floating. So it'll always be on top, but it's also floating at the same time. And a lot of this little tweaks and little eye candies, and you can do all kinds of stuff with like wobbly windows. And yeah, I can talk for the rest of the week on just the visual effects that you could do with KDE Plasma. The purpose of the video was to continue to show you that this is probably the closest thing in Linux to Windows 10 you're going to get. So if you're really stuck on Windows 10 and you want to move to Linux, KDE Plasma is probably what you want to look for. So you don't have to have Kubuntu. KDE Plasma is what it's called. Plasma Desktop. We're currently in version 6. And yeah, you can, this is the latest version, 6.6, which is actually the same version we're working on. KDE Plasma is not only a desktop environment, it's its entire ecosystem. There is an entire library of applications that were written specifically for KDE. Plasma KDE applications. You can get Plasma on mobile. You have the Dolphin, which is a file manager. This is a PDF reader, the console, archiving tool, video editor, image viewer. Krita is a digital painting thingy. a software center. You can synchronize KDE to your remote devices. File late will show you your disk usage. It's got its own calendar. It's got, and it's got. Top 10 distros featuring KDE Plasma 6. And of course, it helps if I actually learn how to spell. All right, so here's just the top 10. KDE Neon, Fedora KDE, OpenSUSE Tumbleweed, Arch Linux, Endeavor, Cache, Garuda, Chaos, Nobara, Kubuntu, Debian, anything, any distribution that you can think of, KDE is available for that distribution. So don't think that you have to get stuck on Kubuntu if you don't like Kubuntu, but you love KDE. About the only distribution that does not come with it as an option is Linux Mint. And even that comes with a caveat, because you can always install KDE Meta on Linux Mint, but that will be pulled from Ubuntu's repositories, not Linux Mint's repositories. So it doesn't come with any kind of badging or theming or anything like that. Speaking of themes, so we're going to go in here to global theme. We can switch any of this around. We can use Kubuntu's. We can use Breeze, Breeze Dark, Breeze Twilight, Oxygen. We can actually, you can switch the day-night mode, which I told you, if you remember the dual-sided wallpaper thing. This allows you to go light, dark, and it will go along with you. You have different colors that you can go for. You can install colors from a file. Application style, configure icons. Plasma style, this is one of my favorite ones here. You can go in here and you can make your KDE look like pretty much anything. There is one in here that's actually for Windows 11. Oh, not window. I was like, yes, there is. There was one in here actually for Windows 11. This one here makes it look like Windows 7. Yeah, you can make it look like pretty much anything you want it to. There's Windows 11 right there. Or if you want your desktop to look like a Skittles dragon threw up all over it, you can do this one here. This is a very similar theme to Garuda, which is based on Arch. Here's your Windows 11. So it just depends on what you want your KDE to look like. Or, and hear me out, just leave it alone. Just however you want to do it. Anyway, if you like these videos and like to see more, make sure you click like and subscribe.